Hey, I'm Isaac Schanno Johnson, and if you don't know me, I'm a musician, music composer, music producer, and I make videos about all that fun stuff, music, music composition, music production, so hit that subscribe button to see videos like this in the future. I want to make a quick video about why you should learn music theory. I'm a big fan of learning music theory and understanding the music that you're listening to, even if you're maybe not a musician and you don't want to perform or you don't want to write music, but you want to understand music a little more. You want to know what you're listening to. Music theory, to an extent, can be exactly what that is. One of the big things that you can do with music theory is you can better understand the music that you're listening to. That does mean that you need to learn all the sounds for all the theoretical concepts that you're learning, but that's part of learning music theory, to me at least. Separating them from just ear training versus learning music theory, that doesn't make much sense because the concepts you learn in music theory are the sounds. They're not two different things. So learn them together. So an example of this would be solfege. Solfege is just a naming convention for degrees of a major scale or a minor scale or whatever scale it is. It's just a different thing to use other than numbers. So if you can hear a song and you know the melody and you could sing it as solfege, that gives you an idea of how you would play it on an instrument. It also gives you an idea of how that is related to the scale that the song is using. So that means you can compare two different melodies that might not be in the same key, but you can still use solfege because solfege is about the scale as a whole rather than about a specific scale. Another thing is it helps you more easily communicate with other musicians. If you're learning a song and you don't know the chords, but the guitar player does, you can ask them, what are the chords? And if they tell you, oh, it's a 1, 5, 6, 4 in the key of B major, you already know what that means. If you know what Roman numerals are, you know B major, F sharp major, G sharp minor, E major. Right away. You don't need to ask other questions. That's it. You know the chords, you're good. Another thing, it'll help you more easily communicate rhythms. If you're playing a guitar part that lines up with what the drummer is playing on the hi-hat and you need to know what beats they're accenting, and they tell you, I'm accenting 1, the E of 2, the end of 3, and the of 4, right away you know what that rhythm is, as long as you understand those little things. You don't need to hear it, you don't need to have them write it down or play it for you. You know right away from that what it is. It can also help you do the same thing. If somebody asks you what the chords for a song are, you can tell them it's a 1, 2, 6, 5, 4 in the key of A major. But it helps you more easily communicate with other musicians about the things that you're actually playing. Personally, one thing I like using music theory for is as a springboard for new ideas in compositions. So in college, when I was at Berklee College of Music, for my composition major, we had to take a class where all we did was write pieces of music using different ways to construct chords. We would write one piece that only used chords with seconds. We'd write a piece with only fourths, and then chords built with only fifths. We would take these ways of building chords and use those as a way to compose music. Not all those compositions were great compositions, but you can use those ideas, those theoretical concepts, as something new to give you inspiration for new music. If you heard a song that has chords mostly built in fourths, and then you learn that that's what that sound is, that's a new sound that you now know how to create, and you know how to do it right away without having to figure anything out on your instrument. Another way music theory can help you is it can help you appreciate new types of music that you don't normally listen to. If you're learning about classical music and you understand the pieces of classical music, what makes up classical music, and you understand rock music, and that's your favorite type of music, rock music, maybe learning how those two relate and being able to draw comparisons between them can help you understand and appreciate a little more classical music. Same thing with jazz or hip hop or whatever genre of music it is. If you know that this one rapper that you really like listening to uses this type of rhythm, and then you hear that same rhythm in a jazz song or a rock song, then you're drawing this comparison between these three types of music that might not be super related or might not sound super similar, but they all have this one rhythm. So it can help you understand and appreciate different types of music that you wouldn't normally listen to. Lastly, if you're a musician and you play an instrument, it can help you learn music a whole lot faster than you normally would. If you're listening to a song and you can figure out the chord progression in the car ride over to rehearsal, and you can figure out the rhythms, you can figure out what the melody is, and you can remember the form right away, you hardly even need to learn the real song. That's not really the best idea. If you're going to a rehearsal and you have songs that you know you're gonna play, learn them ahead of time. If you're at a rehearsal and somebody says, hey, let's play this one song, and you're like, I've never heard it before, you might not be so lost and panicked, and you might be able to listen to it on your phone really quickly, get a general idea of what it is, and then play along. You might not be playing the exact bass line or the exact drum part, but being able to figure it out quickly and know what's going on in that song can help you be more comfortable in that rehearsal and in that situation, because that's going to happen. Somebody's going to ask you to play a song that you don't know at some point in your musical career. If you can just comfortably say, I don't know it, but give me a minute to listen to it on my phone and I think I can get a good idea of it, and then you can play along, that's such a valuable skill to have. Being able to learn a song quickly, being able to understand it and play it back without having to hear it 300 times. Also, gonna be honest, it feels great when you know that you can listen to a song and figure out the chord progression or get a pretty good idea of it, and you can remember the form, and you can sort of make a roadmap of the song in your head, and you can generally get an idea of what the melody is, and all you need to do is sit at the keyboard and figure out what key it's in, and then you can play it. That is an awesome feeling to have, and it's 100% doable with some practice of learning music theory concepts and learning enough songs and learning how those concepts relate to each other and learning to play them on whatever your instrument is. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you learned something about music. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to see more videos like this in the future, and as always, thank you for watching. Peace.